In 1947, the Air Force became a separate branch of the U.S. military. That same year, the first pararescue team was formed. Since that time, 65 PJs have lost their lives in the line of duty.
There's a C-5 aircraft inbound with the major battle damage.
The C-5 is splashed down. There is wreckage. Survivors are in black one-man rafts. Medical condition unknown.
When a military transport is forced to ditch in enemy waters, it takes a special kind of rescuer to go after the survivors. Someone not only trained to save lives, but willing to die trying.
Hey, we're just passing a beam, the target. I can turn in whenever you're ready for the deployment. Thunder is away. Copy that, jump master. One jumper away, two jumpers away, three jumpers away. All right, well, look. Shoot, sir, 30 yards.
These men belong to the most elite rescue unit on Earth. Their job title is Pararescueman.
PJ's up.
But it might as well be hero. Their motto, that others may live. On a remote glacier in Alaska, an injured climber hangs inches from death.
We'll put one right.
Off the coast of New York, a boater is fighting for his life after suffering a massive heart attack. In East Africa, wounded American soldiers are trapped in a firefight with rebel forces.
Rope.
3 places, 3 crises, with one thing in common.
Tango, we're right on the ground. We have one
The men
survivor.
who come
He
to
is
the rescue.
ambulatory.
The U.S. Air Force's Pararescuemen, better known as the PJs.
Put the IV in.
Part soldier, part medic, a PJ is an armed angel of mercy.
Go ahead and breathe in for me.
They're the most versatile rescue specialists in the world. Any place people can get into trouble, a PJ can go after them. PJs go where other search and rescue teams can't, thanks to these. A C-130 Hercules, which doubles as a tanker plane, and HH-60G Pavehawk helicopters that can be refueled in flight.
Hey, left nose going out.
The C-130 drops out a fuel line 83 feet long. The helicopter extends a receiving probe only 3.5 feet past its rotors.
And he's about 20 feet aft, left road. Pre-contact position.
It can be a tricky and dangerous maneuver.
Fuel's flowing.
Both aircraft have to maintain the same speed and altitude.
Okay, disconnect. Stance number 2 on 1. Okay, right hose
The
appears
result,
in.
an unlimited range of operation for the PJs.
And transfer shipping appears to be in.
It takes 18 months to make a PJ. More time and sweat than it takes to turn out a Navy SEAL or a Green Beret. They are all males. Current military regulations bar women from ground combat.
You got the Alpha Company Special Forces guy.
This is where it starts. Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. The indoctrination course, or I course.
Double time!
Hoo-yah! PJ, where you been? Out on a mission and back again.
It's like Hell Week, except here, hell lasts 10 weeks.
Why are you standing on the ground?
Don't waste it. Get it.
Get out of here!
Way down to the ground.
Stop resting.
Don't tell me that you can't
Tie!
pull up. Not the small of your back. Shoulder blade.
This class has 36 pledges.
Elbows flat.
Average age, 19.
What's this?
Get up!
Maybe 1 in 10 will survive and make it to graduation. Some fail to make it through the first day. It's the end of the pipeline.
PJ, how'd it go?
92 trainees went into this class. Only 19 came out. After 18 grueling months, the honor they've worked for is within their grasp. The right to wear the maroon beret. Maroon symbolizes the blood sacrificed by pararescuemen in the line of duty. Above the Virginia countryside, PJ Scott Gearen makes his 90th jump. The first 9,000 feet are free fall. At 3,500 feet, he pulls his ripcord. Suddenly, his world goes dark. Another team member, still in free fall and unable to maneuver, plunges through Gearen's chute. Gearen falls for 3,000 feet and hits the earth at over 100 miles an hour.
I was pretty badly injured. I know the guys got to me as quickly as they could and got me to the hospital and had to give me a cricothyroidotomy, which put an airway into my throat so I could breathe.
Gearen's skull was fractured into pieces. His nose, cheekbones, and eye sockets were crushed. His face swelled to twice its normal size. For 3 months, Gearen didn't set foot outside the hospital. All he thought about was getting back to being a PJ.
The Air Force was ready to cross-train me into another career field, so it was a fight in that aspect to want to do my job and to be able to do it.
Once back at home, Gearen hit the weights and the track. Less than 18 months after his accident, he was jumping again.
It was pretty scary. I asked the guys I was jumping with that I wanted to be the last one out of the airplane and just be by myself.
Each time a PJ jumps, he makes a leap of faith. He never knows what's waiting on the ground. On a sweltering afternoon in East Africa, PJs plunge into their worst battle in a quarter century. An elite U.S. Army force stationed in Mogadishu sets out to capture a band of Somali warlords. Instead, the Americans are pinned down by Somali militiamen. Blackhawks arrive with a team of PJs to evacuate the wounded. Seconds after landing, the PJs themselves start taking hits.
Sergeant Fales was limping back. He'd been shot in the leg, which really put, again, the realization that this was not a training exercise and that this was for real and these folks were playing for keeps.
Master Sergeant Timothy Wilkinson was rescuing an injured crewman from a downed Blackhawk when lead started to fly around the cockpit.
If you take one of those nice little bulbs that have the snowstorm in there and you shake it up, that's what it looked like inside. It was just a huge barrage of shrapnel flying around. And, myself, one of the Special Forces medics, and the survivor were all hit with shrapnel at that point.
The PJs took cover and began patching up the wounded and each other. Twice in the battle, Wilkinson risked his life to collect precious medical supplies. A witness credited him with saving at least 4 lives. For his heroism, Master Sergeant Timothy Wilkinson earned the Air Force Cross. It's the height of the space program, and Houston has a problem. Over the vast North Pacific, Gemini 8 is forced to abort its mission. PJs stationed in Okinawa spring into action. As the capsule hits the water, the PJs move in. Since the dawn of the space program, PJs have been waiting in the wings. Every time the space shuttle goes up, so do the PJs. The last push-up has been counted, the last mile run. The time for training is over. The time for courage just beginning. As he dons the maroon beret, each new pararescueman recites the oath that will guide him throughout his career. It is my duty as a pararescueman to save life and aid the injured. I will be prepared at all times to perform my assigned duties quickly and efficiently. Placing these duties before my personal desires and comforts. These things I do that others may live.